Welcome to Biggest Geekus. We are your hosts. I am Joe.
I'm Randy.
This is episode 98 of our show, and the date is Thursday, July 28th, 2022.
Yes.
How be it?
Man, I'm doing pretty dang good. Got back from Venger Con. My floor had been completed. Yeah, it was good times, baby.
Good deal.
Yeah.
New wood floors.
Well, what's that stuff called? It's
Pergola, something.
Yeah, pergo stuff. It's cool though. It's real wood would cost me a bankroll, so I said no, pass. Malachi in the house. We got Legion and Darth and Martinson. At least the ones showing up on the stream. That's cool. Glad you guys are here.
Definitely. Thanks for stopping in, Darth, with your new symbology there.
Yeah, he's rolling with the cool new symbol. Nice. Yeah. So Joe, you had a little hiccup. A little life got in the way this week, so we had to push back a couple of days.
Yep.
We made it happen, though. We made it happen.
We made it happen. Yes, had a funeral to go to.
Yeah.
Right. So, before we get into it, I want to shout out to Honey Badger Radio and the Basic Expert for having me on Monday, making me super tired. But we had kind of an not an emergency. Had a situation here. I had to bail on Basic Expert after we had been on for half hour or so, something like that. We got a lot of good stuff out. It's just I had to bail on it, but I'll be going back on at some point. But I was on both shows Monday, and they should have a video up of those shows. In fact, I know that Honey Badger does. I didn't verify the Basic Expert, but I'm sure he does. I'll have links posted to both in the show notes. Also, I will be on the Red Room tomorrow morning at 11. I'm not sure it's a live stream. Oh. I checked out their channel and I don't see any live streams posted. So it might just be I go in, I hook up with them at 11. We do a little thing and then it gets recorded and posted. So we'll see what happens. And then I'm back on T-Shirted Historian on Saturday evening.
Look at my dude over here this way. Man, he's just all over the place. Represent, son. I'm over here dropping some French on Mr. Max Boivin. Very complex French. Bonjour and oui. I know
wow.
He's totally impressed.
Hey. Croissant.
Oh.
Ha, ha, ha.
C'est la vie. A few other phrases.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
And on the 8th, I will be on Nerd Cognito. He's pretty much a firebrand of grognard proportions.
So. Excellent. Nerd Cognito, I'm checking that out. And I love when you're on T-shirt. Those are some good cats over there.
Yeah. They
had Venger on there this week too, which we'll be talking about. I'll be talking about my Venger experience. It was quite a good time. Or as I like to call it, Advanced Cabin Con. Yeah, Matt, I'm glad you saw him. I'm going to show him again tonight. He checked out some of our picks from Venger Con. I may show a couple on the YouTube. Yeah, we had a good time. It was much fun. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I'm on all these places talking about Big Geek Emporium. Hopefully I will have a little bit more of an update in the next couple of days. I'm off all weekend, so we'll see what happens.
Right on, Ben. Right on. Sounds like we ought to play D&D, though, one of those days you're off.
We've got tentatively the 11th.
Yes, the 11th is the tentative for the start of the new campaign.
Jenny still hasn't told me whether we can go or not, so.
Well, you just sneak out without her, dude. Tell her to stay home.
I'm off that week. I took that week off.
Dude, so, you need to be playing it. No excuses.
Should be fine.
Be over at 3. We'll play all day long. Legion. Are you about to, son? Legion's about to.
This is not a nice thing to have said. I'm going to have to do something about this.
Get ready, Maximus. I already got something for you tonight, pal.
Of course, Big Geek Emporium is our upcoming, not competitor. That will take some time, but alternative. You could call us the Alt Drive.
Oh, nice. Yes. I saw what you did there.
So Of course, we're already going to probably be called something. I don't know. I was on what I don't know what show it was on or where it was at, but somebody had posted, I know what kind of content you're going to have on there, whatever that meant.
What does that mean?
Conservative.
Oh, God.
It's probably.
I know what kind of Yeah, people that want to put their stuff up there, that's what we're going to have.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's not good, Max. Sorry, bud.
Go ahead,
Bob Van. Go ahead.
I also put a contact form on that coming soon page so that anybody who has questions or comments or hate mail or, hey, I want to get involved some kind of way can send me a note or send us a note.
Okay.
All right. Just wanted to get all of that out. So I forget stuff. So with all that said, I want to do one more thing.
We get going.
Oh, yeah. You know it.
Love it.
Subscribe if you have not already. Like, hit the bell notification so you know when we're going to be on. Once a week. I know it's tough to keep up with, but and if we can get our numbers up to 500, we could have a community, and I can actually put out text messages on our YouTube channal.
There you go.
The good thing is we are up over 300 now.
Dude, look at that. Just
303 at last count. So we're doing all right.
Just start building a super conservative drive-through site, and everybody's coming.
Oh yeah.
Super conservative. They don't even know my boy here. They don't know what they're talking about with Joe.
No.
You call me a conservative, that's fair. Not that Joe doesn't have conservative. I think you're conservative, but you're not a Republican.
I'm traditional.
Traditional.
I think traditions are important and all that.
Oh man, check this out. Patrick, Advanced Cabin Con, BS, he says. Venger Con is swords and wizard to our Dungeons and Dragons. Dude, that's not a lie.
It's also not necessarily some people will take swords and wizardry and say it's better than Dungeons and Dragons. So
we won't.
You never know.
If he's comparing it to Cabin Con, we won't say that.
We won't say that.
No, that's cool. We'll talk about it more. It was a good time. I think, Killraven's in the house. Malik, I don't know if I said hi to him. Anywho.
All right.
Ready to jump into it, man.
Let's jump in. Segment 1.
Yeah.
Main topic. The Tarrasque.
Love it.
There's probably not a more iconic D&D monster. There's also lots of other iconic monsters, but the Tarrasque is definitely one of D&D's most iconics. It doesn't get used a lot, probably because it's so powerful. You have to be very high level, and apparently no one plays high level. But
it was interesting because I know Patrick's mentioned it before. Max, welcome, Rodrigo Beowulf. I haven't seen your name, but you've probably been around. You're welcome, dude. Glad you're here. Patrick mentioned the French origins.
Yes.
Of the Tarrasque. Mr. Boivin made a little joke about he spelled it the French way. 1 R, Tarasque. It's connected. Did you read the articles? It's connected.
Yes.
I got several to the town of Terrasque, I believe. And anyway, it's pretty interesting. I think amongst gamers, it's pretty well known. I got to take a quick pause. You carry on.
Carry on.
Yep.
I'm going to carry on. Yes, there's some sort of, I guess, French myth that one of the witnesses to Christ's crucifixion came by this pond or lake or whatever it was whatever it typically hid in, the Tarrasque, and kind of lulled it out to follow her, Pied Piper style, and lured it into town, and then the town descended upon it and slayed it while it was helpless, essentially.
I think it was Saint Martha. Was Martha, not Mary? Though in some legends, there's a bunch of legends connected to it. There's even other countries that got some Tarrasque, but Tarrasque is basically French. And it looked like a massive turtle dude with one set of lion head and a scorpion tail. Basically, it's a fearsome beast that was killing people. And one tale, St. Martha shows up and saves a dude who's being killed by it. or at least he's
Hmm.
being killed. It doesn't say whether they killed it or not in Wikipedia, but she saves him, and the Tarrasque, she, they say she wrapped her towel, waistcoat, I don't know what it was, her little. She, you know how you use I want to say a rope, but more like a towel to hold your robe closed. She wrapped it around him and led him into the town. Basically tamed it, and then they murdered it. So Max has helped me out here. Yeah, that's true. He talked about the spelling differences, but the Tarrasque, I was saying, I think D&D nerds love it. You can just say the Tarrasque. Everybody knows they have strong opinions. I don't know if people that hear D&D, if they think Tarrasque, if they're not D&D players, they probably think
no,
elves, dwarves, wizards, warriors, maybe trolls and dragons.
Dragons, yeah.
And the trolls.
Yep.
That
the iconic things that we know about by playing the game and reading books and having the books and all that stuff is not what the outsiders would know by. I mean, they might know Beholder, they definitely know Dragon, and then it's an elf game. But that's probably all an outsider would really know.
Yeah.
Necessarily. It's possible they might know more if they have friends that talk about it, but they're not necessarily involved. So, I mean, you've got the Illithid, you've got the Beholder, you've got the Tarrasque.
Yeah.
Those are really the iconic things. I mean, there's probably other ones like mimics,
liches,
the
D&D people.
Yeah.
Devils, demons, just generic demons are big. Mark Getzinger says that Tarrasque is what a DM uses when the PC breaks the final straw in a campaign. Maybe. I know I've gotten a little annoyed and said, dude, I'm going to lay the Tarrasque on these dirt bags. They don't stop their bull crap. I've been there.
It's definitely an option to use in that instance because most PCs can't handle one.
But Mr. Boivin got it. It's not the first thing you learn about, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Monster Manual 2 is where it first appeared. Did you know that, Joseph? I had to look that up. I wasn't sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Boivin was right. I think it's but it's, I don't know, I've always loved it though. Now this little link we have, we're going to talk about this, the Tarrasque through the editions. Are you ready to transfer to that or not?
Yeah, let's go.
Because I thought it was, did you notice the 3rd edition Tarrasque is not on there? They don't stat it up.
They mention it. He mentions it.
They give it a huge description.
But the
all the other stats are given.
The stat block doesn't have an illustration in there.
Right. 5th edition, they talk a little bit about it. In 3rd edition.
Did you want me to share it? Were you going to?
Well, you do the sharing. You're much more proficient. I'm going to look for one more thing while you're doing that. Feel free and share.
Yes, we are in the process. If you're listening and not watching, let's see if I can find it. There it is.
So the Terrasque was interesting because some of the most common things was it had a pretty solid AC, a boatload of hit points. Though in first ed it was only 300, but in first ed 300 was pretty serious business.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the place, power score, everything you need to know about the Tarrasque.
This is an old article. I don't know if this site is kept up or not, but this is a article from 2014. But that doesn't mean anything because 5th edition's been out since then. So it has 5th edition stats in here. So everything you need to know about the Tarrasque.
We're afraid to ask. Yeah, I think that this particular Tarrasque. So if you look, one of the things you'll notice, as I said before, you'll notice that Homeboy has got some serious AC. He got a -3 in 1st edition, and I think it stayed the same in 2nd. Though there was, did you read the little piece where they said in 2nd edition there was a typo, something weird about the typo?
Yeah, who knows what that was supposed to be, and nobody's owned up to it. Let me see if I can get down to it.
Yes,
this is a statue in honor of the Tarrasque somewhere. Does it say exactly where that's at? I don't know. This is the 1st edition stats right here. Let me see. And it was 2nd edition you're talking about?
Yeah. If you go down a little bit.
Here. It's right here. Creatures with a minus Thaco, because Thaco was in force in the second edition, can
Mhm.
only be hit on a 1, which doesn't make sense at all.
At all.
Because a 1 is, roll a 1 on the die, you miss. So.
And who was the second edition that answered all the sage questions?
Skip
Williams. He didn't really give a good answer either. He just kind of left it blank. He just said,
yeah. So let's see here. Let me get down to I'm going to get down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me find it. Okay. Thaco as defined by the second. This is all Skip Williams. Yeah. Thaco as defined by the second edition Player's Handbook was the number a character needed to roll in order to hit armor class 0. Okay, we know this. I don't think I need to read that part.
There at the bottom. It's the. Go ahead.
Yeah. The second edition Tarrasque has an armor class of -3. Thus, a first level warrior. Okay, it figures what you need to hit various things at various levels. Nowhere, except for that bizarre statement in the Monstrous Manual, is it ever implied that a 1 is needed to hit a negative. Thaco, just another mystery of the Tarrasque, seemingly.
He leaves it open.
It's a mystery.
Which, I mean, I guess is I think because it's so ridiculous, and I get it. I mean, and
they couldn't come up with a good reason, so they just said it's a mystery.
Well, and does someone really have a question? Are there tables where the DM lets the players beat them over the head so hard that I'd be like, dude, that's not the case. That's stupid. I'm not doing that. Though I wouldn't think the player would want you to do that because you have to roll a 1 to hit it. That would make the Terrasque pretty dang hard to fight.
Right. Well, it's hard enough to fight already.
Oh, through these editions, I thought, as much as I'm not a fan of it, I thought 4th edition had a pretty couple of sweet powers for the Tarrasque. I think it's the one where, if you look, I don't know if you can zoom down to the Tarrasque in 4th edition level 30 solo brute. Look at that earth binding ability. I think I'm absolutely would use that.
Is that the one where they swim through the earth?
You mean me read it to you? Here's what it is. Earth binding, aura, 40 feet. Any flying creature in the aura has its fly speed. No, aura 40. It doesn't say feet. Any flying creature in the aura has its fly speed reduced to 1 and maximum altitude reduced to 20 feet, putting it within the Tarrasque reach. Any creature above this altitude at the end of its turn falls to an altitude of 20 feet automatically. I don't know what 40 is supposed to mean, so it's not 40 feet. Basically, you can't. People always talk about flying around. Oh, I meant to put up Mr. Boivin. He had a comment. He said here, it's something to nerd. It's something to nerd about. How to kill this? No, that wasn't it. Something about players. Oh yeah, I was right. How to kill the unkillable monster with some kind of weird plans. Dude, I've heard a plan where this guy claimed that an 8th level party could kill the Tarrasque by drowning it with a decanter of endless water. They had a variety of strategies, but they were talking all this biology stuff. And I'm like, dude, bring that to my game. Just do it. Bring your biology. Tell me what you're going to do to the Tarrasque, and then watch me say, yep, doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I want to say something else here.
Mm-hmm.
Baron G-Rock, my fave is a pack of Tarrasque. He's responding to someone, I'm sure.
Well,
anyway.
He said that, and I told him it was sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Who wouldn't love a pack of Tarrasque?
Right. So, Baron, thank you for your video you put up for us.
Thanks, dude.
And supporting us with our efforts over at Big Geek Emporium. I just wanted to shout that out. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Mr. Boivin also saying he thinks it's weird that they made this obscure monster from France the toughest enemy in the game. Yeah, but dude, that's pretty cool though. French got something to talk about that's tough. Did I say that out loud? Dang it.
Mm-hmm. No, he's not.
I ain't knocking Max. He's French Canadian. That's a double whammy.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's cool.
Yeah. The Tarrasque from the French myth could hide in a pond and attack nearby people. The Tarrasque from D&D couldn't hide in anything short of the ocean and then way out past what you would have as a dock or anything.
Dude, and there was one of the stats you could I was thinking maybe in 3rd edition I was reading, a large or smaller creature, basically any number of them, can stand in the Terrasques. Maybe not any number of them, but they could stand in his space. I think it was third edition. They were talking about spaces. And they said you could stand in his space and attack it, and he may not notice you.
Right.
If you get on his back, he'll ignore you.
Right.
Yeah, Malachi says the 1E version looks a little closer to the original myth. I'll be honest with you. Of the different pictures I see on this page, I'm really digging, even though the third edition looks a little more like the first two I don't care for that much. Not really. And the first edition does look better. The second looks kind of weak. I hate that head. That second picture under the third edition is pretty boss. I believe
he looks more like a dinosaur.
Yeah. Even though the one at the end of fourth edition is pretty awesome too. Tearing through those buildings with those archer and wizard standing there. And that picture for fifth edition, I think, is the one they made the figure on. There's a Tarrasque figure out or about to come out. So I would say my favorite is probably the fourth edition one, followed closely by that second one from third.
5 attacks for a fifth edition, dude.
That's pretty good. His damage is key, though. 676 points is pretty awesome. I've always liked the idea of the Tarrasque being bound to the earth somehow, being an elemental creature. Malachi says it's about to come out. FLGS has it on pre-order. That's cool. I'd like to have it. I just can't pay the bucks for it. Yeah, it does look kind of like a kaiju. I don't disagree.
Well, yeah, a lot of them have that kind of sensibility. It's a giant creature bigger than the buildings in your town or city.
And I'm trying to think where it was. It might have been the fourth edition one where they talked about if you try, because I thought 13th Age was the first one to do it. But killing this dude used to take knocking it to negative hit points and then casting a wish for it to be dead. Maybe it was 5th edition where they said, no, I don't know which edition where they talked about once you beat it down. One of the editions of D&D mentioned, I thought, that you could beat it down, and then once you did that, it would just, after you beat it down and cast the wish, it would end up leaving or something. But I know 13th Age does something that basically makes it unkillable, which I kind of like it. Oh, I think that's a thing.
Yeah, in the Wikipedia, one of the Wikipedia entries, it's referred to as a type of dragon.
Yep. Yeah. Which I think it was in, historically speaking, too, was called a dragon. That was part. I
mean, it's not that's not far afield, considering all of its qualities.
About minis again. Malachi's got it. The problem with the new minis is that it's pre-painted. I like that. I get if you're a painter, you don't. Those are too much, and there's too much money. Yeah, I think isn't it 400 bones? Reaper has a Tarrasque like one that is really, it is. The Reaper's Tarrasque looks really pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Reaper pretty much has, I think, apart from the fact that they're not painted, I think their minis are pretty much superior to whatever right now to what Wizards puts out. In my opinion.
Yeah. But most of the versions of D&D require some special kind of wish type thing to take the thing down. When we were younger and playing, or even now, what do you think of the Tarrasque in general, though, Joe? Oh, really?
So yes, Matt Barninger says better off buying a 3D printer. Yes, because a 3D printer, you might be able to find one that could print a Tarrasque. You have the 3D printer and a Tarrasque for less than a Tarrasque figure, because if you can get them on sale or a good deal, you could get one for $250, $350, depending on model and whatnot. A decent one they could probably print that. I don't know if it would print one of that size, a thing of that size. Some of them they just print very small things, about a few inches square. A Tarrasque would need to be a foot tall at least.
Yeah.
To be in scale, something like that. I'm not sure if the 3D printers we're talking about would print something that big, but you can maybe print it in pieces and then glue it together, potentially.
Darth had an interesting comment on the negative hit points. Just believe it's 2E. I just checked. It was 1E is where it started, but I believe 2E continued it. And what's interesting is if you can kill it, knock it to negative 30 and make the sweet wish, right, you can do that. Then supposedly you'll find 100,000 gold pieces in its gems in its belly and turn portion of that to make D4 plus 5 shields. Yeah, not to mention it's
hide.
Yeah, and other things and blood and stuff. You could do all. I mean, if you killed the Terra, if you permanently killed the Terrasque and you had all that stuff.
I mean, that's typical kaiju type things. Dragons. There's always legends about dragon bits being used to make things. That's true. I was gonna say something, and then now I've forgotten it.
I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. It's just me being. I'm very tired today.
You worked hard today?
Oh, I had extra mail to carry, so I carried mine and about an hour on somebody else's route, and I did it in about 45 minutes instead of an hour. So I was kind of booking out there, and I'm like, I probably should have walked regular speed. Because now I'm beat. I've had caffeine, I've eaten, I'm drinking a bunch of water. I'm still dragging.
Yeah, I think Iron Man says Baby Yoda could put it to sleep, but I got a feeling sleep is one of the things it's immune to, hit dice wise. But you're talking Jedi stuff, so who knows? Maybe you could.
Yeah, I don't know how they interact and which version are you going with. Fourth edition, it would not.
No,
it has that. I was just looking at that. This immutable characteristic here. Let's see. It cannot. Well, sleep doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, in first
it's not listed.
Edition, he has too many hit dice. Though, interesting note. If you want to scan up to the first edition one, maybe folks can help me out with this.
Knocked unconscious, you might be able to say that's sleep, but to the first edition.
Now, in second edition, he could not because he has too many hit dice, except for this one little wrinkle. Look at his hit dice.
Oh, it doesn't say hit dice. It just says hit points. That always threw us for a loop because you'd have to. I think there was a Dragon Magazine article that may have come out later that said if it has, you have to kind of finagle how many hit dice it has from its hit points. But yeah, it's weird. They do that kind of stuff. Every monster has hit dice except the Tarrasque, or maybe there's probably a few other ones. I think the named demons, most of them had hit points instead of hit dice.
That might have been a first edition
or
thing.
Devils.
I can't remember. I think you're right. Like
all the devils, like Asmodeus and them.
Yeah,
I think they all had hit points instead of hit dice.
Yeah.
So some monsters had hit dice.
Right.
Some monsters had hit points, but not hit dice. And some monsters had hit points and then parenthetical hit dice next to it.
If you want to say he had an average of 4, he had D8s. Homie's running with 75 hit points. 75 hit dice.
Yeah. Oh well.
Which is what I would say if I was running it. I just assume. Oh, if you got any spell that can't affect a certain hit dice creature, Joe, then the Terrasque has that many hit dice.
Yes.
Whatever Joe needs to be under, it's just over.
It's just over.
That's how I would run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then casting a wish. Now, you might run into the DM that says you have to specifically word it correctly for it to work. It's not just a automatic win.
Yeah, G-Rock confirms 3-5 also needed a wish to kill it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that actually disappeared in any of the editions. Maybe 5th.
Yeah, I'm not sure about 5th.
Yeah.
But yeah, some DMs may want you to word it correctly, or it doesn't work so that they can keep the Tarrasque around a little longer. Maybe you have to do it a few times until you get the wish worded right. And then if they want you to do that, not only does the Tarrasque not die, there might be other effects of an improperly worded wish. This was first edition days. The DMs were encouraged to screw around with players when they cast wish.
Yeah, and I think that's good encouragement. I think generally you should just screw around with players pretty much nonstop. What do you think, Joe?
Say that again?
I think you should just screw around with players nonstop.
Sure. Why not? It'll teach them.
Yeah, teach those pesky players.
Yeah.
Trying to do cool stuff in my game.
Learn them real good.
Mm-hmm. That's truth. So, So moving away from the stats just for a
Ah, hold on. We have to break for DVR.
Oh,
The DVR crew is here, at least one of them. Hello, phone guy.
oh wow, Bingo was his name. Welcome. T-shirts in the house. Nice.
Bingo was his name.
Barninger. Yeah, it's a new guy, or he might be a.
Where is he at? I don't
He's
see.
right
Oh,
above.
there it is. There it is.
I'll put it up there. He just said hello.
There
Geek.
he is.
What's up? Oh, I'm messing with Joe. The reason he doesn't let me control things. He's a smart man. You don't let me have control stuff like that. It's dangerous.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Cool.
You should never be allowed to control things.
Well, that's kind of a lie. I should control all things, but I understand why you think that. Because I think we will screw Joe every time I get a chance, but that's because it's fun. Hose him really hard. Hose him with the badness of evil DM hosiery. DV Army, all right.
Thank you from the DV Army. All right. Let's see.
Our man's asking about the lore. He might have come in late. It's a French beast. Take away the R, and I think it was one R, I think, and I think the rest of it's the same, ain't it?
I'm not sure.
I think
it's French. Who knows how they spell things over there?
They spell things.
I don't know that they keep it straight.
I think they got it figured out. They just don't want to tell anybody. But anyway, it came from France, and we talked about how earlier it was.
Like the Coneheads.
Oh,
we're from France.
In-game lore. Well, I can tell you this much. I know that the Tarrasque made some appearances in both Bloodstone modules H2 and H4. The world of Kryn apparently had WL16. I'm not familiar with that adventure. Says Soth waves his hand, a door opens, and a Tarrasque lurches forward.
Yeah, there's some indications of lore in here that it was made to frighten the gods and keep them in line, perhaps.
That was a 4th edition thing, I think.
Yeah, no, but
not sure.
I'm not sure precisely. This guy goes into a lot of detail about its capabilities, but that's the only lore that comes out here. I'm sure 4th edition had something, and I know that there's been some supplements where they invented lore, but it came out in 2nd edition. There wasn't always any lore behind where creatures came from. They're just there.
Consistent. How the Mighty Are Fallen. I owned that adventure at one time. That's a Netheril. You're showing it right now. It's a Netheril module. And you had to go get the pituitary gland of the Terrasque. But look at the levels for that. I just noticed that. That was for levels 11 to 14. Of course, if you're using, I think there was some magic.
Oh, you're probably not there to kill the Terrasque. You're probably there to rip out its pituitary and leave before it wakes up or get you.
T-shirt, I partially agree with that. He says biggest keys Tarrasque is in PF1 is 30 hit dice, CR 25. Cthulhu is 36, CR 30. Cthulhu is still the undisputed king of the monsters. Yeah, but Cthulhu's starting to get into the elder god thing, so he's kind of playing unfair, isn't he?
A tiny bit.
When the Terrasque is like, I'm just a total BA, and that's how I do it. That's just how I do it. You know, he comes and eats everything, says, shut up, no adventures can kill me, because they can't. Except you can if you pull some cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pesky wish.
Speaking of that, so how you want to fix this in your ecology, in your campaign world? I mean,
are you done with the article?
I feel like it. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You got more to say? We can say more, but I was
no.
into the next one because I know I love the Terrasque, and if I'm running he always exists. Any game I'm running, he's there somewhere. Because
it's a unique creature, the Tarrasque. That's how I think it was originally presented as a unique creature. There's one, and it kind of terrorizes your campaign world for a while until either it's kind of done its thing and it's no longer hungry, or the players beat it into submission. I think there's some versions of it where you can beat it down and then it will go into its torpor without having to necessarily kill it.
Right.
But yeah.
I think for me, I always liked it as a beast that I can kind of kind of use rumors to talk about the chance that these books say in 13 years or in 3 months he's supposed to rise, whether he will or not. I've always liked him hidden deep within a mountain, even if maybe he hasn't been seen in so long that perhaps a mountain or a hill grew over him. I had that happen.
Oh, sure.
I had a character riding along. He was a powerful half ogre fighter in second edition, and he was riding he had a war elephant, and he was rising over a hill, and the Terrasque rose up. So
Right.
and that was a bad day for him.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. You would have to run real fast,
Nothing
especially
like-
if you're by yourself.
Nothing like he had some companions, but still, who wants Terrasque random encounter?
No.
Holy cow! Yeah,
That's kind of a dick move.
well, I would say that I was very fair when I was young, but Joe would say that's a stinking lie. So I'm going to say I was being a dick.
Only if you use fair inappropriately.
Right. I'm fair in a way that's not fair. But yeah, I think the best way to use a Tarrasque, he should be, if you want to actually have the fight, I think there's lots of ways you can do it. Dragon Magazine during the end of the third edition era had a great set of articles, and Dungeon, both. I know Dragon had it, where they talked about a cult of the Tarrasque.
Right.
We worship the beast and we're always trying to raise it early. And I could see a campaign or a mini campaign around trying to fight them from getting them to raise the Tarrasque. That could be pretty cool.
Oh, sure. You could always, it's easy to make up a good background for the Tarrasque.
Yeah.
Even if you just say it's the Tarrasque has almost always certainly been, and its origins are lost in the mists of time, or
Right.
you could tie it to perhaps the unfortunate offspring of some god or demigod that for some reason likes to take the form of random things and have relations with just about any creature that it can convince.
Third edition was bad for that. Half everything.
Right. Well, I was kind of poking at Zeus there.
Oh,
But-
yeah, sure.
Is that's a Zeus thing, but so it could be the unfortunate offspring, and it's fated to do what it does, eats until its belly is full and sleeps for centuries, millennia, however long, and you use it as kind of a plot
Device.
plot device until you might want to throw it at your PCs for real, because
Yeah.
unless they're really high level, they're just not going to take it. Unless you're talking, pun antics from what was that, third edition, and there's probably some weird combo in second edition, and definitely third 3.5 Pathfinder. They all had kind of silly combinations that you could just destroy all comers. But
There is a 5e book called The Book of the Terrasque, which I'm going to talk about a little more later, where I think, who is the guy that does it, but he gives all these interesting options for the Tarrasque, and he talks about it in great detail. I think it's actually pretty neat. And for a while there, early on in the beginning of third edition, he would travel the cons, and he would run just this Fight the Tarrasque adventure. Fifth edition game supplement, The Book of the Terrasque by John Arcadian, forward by Ed Greenwood. I have both a PDF and a hard copy. Being a huge fan of the Tarrasque, I would recommend anybody get it, even though it's a 5e supplement. He's just got some cool ideas.
right. Yeah, T-shirt historian talks about this kaiju Pathfinder. They had a few kaiju, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a particular one, Mogaru, who's basically Pathfinder 1's version of Godzilla. It's 34 hit dice and 28 CR 28, pound for pound bigger and meaner than the Tarrasque. I think that's a cheap shot T-shirt.
Yeah.
They should have just called that the Tarrasque instead.
Yeah. I think to me, I want the Terrasque to be the biggest, meanest monster of monsters on my planet as far as a creature that lives here. Aaron Wilkerson? What? Late.
You go sit in the corner.
But make lots of comments, and we're glad you're here.
Yes. Thank you for showing up. Even though you're late.
Late. Inconceivable. But yeah, so as you can tell, Randy loves him some Tarrasque. And I don't, and I get it. There's some like T-shirts. of course, got to point us wrong. There's a few more powerful creatures in Pathfinder. There's probably tougher ones, honestly. I mean, we've talked about, here's the argument we used to have, in 3rd edition especially. I think we talked about it. A great red worm versus a Tarrasque versus a Solar.
Or what about the Astral Dreadnought?
But let's just take those 3. I believe at one point, and I'm sure people can, I think we were arguing, a bunch of our buddies, and we said that the Tarrasque would beat the Great Red Worm. Maybe it's the other way. No, I forgot how we had it. Something like the Tarrasque could beat one of them, and especially if you gave it the power where you can't fly over it, because that's a cheap win. And you count on that. If you're ever playing in a game and I'm running the Tarrasque, you're not flying back and shooting it full of crap. Just forget it. That ain't happening. Randy ain't going to allow it. I love the earth binding ability. It's going to have it. Just be prepared.
Get over here.
Yeah, get over here. But those 3 were interesting because when you paired them up, I think that was the 3 creatures that against one-on-one, a different 1/1 every time when you paired up every different battle. But I can't remember the stats, so I can't really argue it. It seems like we had like the Solar could beat the Red Dragon could beat the Tarrasque, but the Tarrasque could beat the Solar, something like that. I don't know how that.
Didn't the Solars, wouldn't the Solar be able to shoot it with a arrow of slaying the Tarrasque?
Yeah.
They could do that.
Sure. Fortitude save plus 45 or something for the Tarrasque. Sure.
Oh, there was a save. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So you get a fortitude save. I mean, homie's going to make it. There's nothing you can do. I mean,
yeah.
But you're right. He can roll 1. But
you can shoot him 5 times.
Yeah, make him make 5 saves. One of those might be a 1. Yeah. But if he can't fly, he better be ready.
Yeah.
He better get initiative. He probably will. Look, Solar's ball. They're BA. But I mean, just the big brute monsters, I think I really like the Tarrasque being the king of the brutes. Now, it doesn't mean dragons, other creatures couldn't possibly defeat them, but I think most of them be like, I'm not wasting my energy trying to kill this thing.
No.
What's the point? Just fly away or teleport away, And a Solar might be like, let's just help the people. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to kill this thing. Nah. Yeah. That's very possible in 3rd edition, Iron Man.
If it's a great red worm, it would have access to 9th level
17,
spells, I'm pretty
18,
sure.
9th level caster. He could pull out a wish spell. It's within the realm of possibility. And I agree with Darth. I've already said I would. I will power up a Tarrasque if I have to. I believe it is supposed to be the most powerful creature. Its purpose is to reset the surface of the planet. They did that in Apocalypse Stone at the end of 2nd edition. That was part of the plan. That module was supposed to be a reset for 3rd edition, and basically it was meant to be a campaign ender. So
that's mentioned in that article as well.
Yeah. But I think for me, I wanted to be the baddest kind of brute on the planet. Doesn't mean you couldn't travel the planes and go to other worlds and there'd be badder stuff. But on my campaign world, everybody's gonna respect.
Get out of his way. Let him eat. I mean, unless, let's say, the exception would be if for some reason the Tarrasque was making a beeline for some population center that couldn't just get up and move. So then you would need to, put something in front of it.
Right.
Preferably squishy player characters.
Oh, I lied, Joe. He only has plus 38 on his fortitude save. So he's practically going to fail then.
Practically fail. Well, so let's say that Solar wins initiative, gets his 5 shots.
Sure.
But, Terrasque, makes his all 5, the first 5. Somehow the Solar is still alive 2nd round.
Good luck.
And he gets another 5 shots.
Well, he's got some
out of 10 shots, you'd think the Terrasque would probably roll a 1 or a 2.
Oh, yeah. It probably would. I mean, Terrasque, but you're also bringing a supernatural extraplanar, an angel, the toughest of the angels, the archangel PAs against him. I've not seen too many PC parties that could handle a Solar. That was the other comparison. We thought a PC party could handle the Tarrasque and the Red Dragon easier than the Solar in 3rd edition. But I don't know. It all depends. What does T-shirt say here? In Castles and Crusades, the biggest dragon gets up to 32 hit dice. The Tarrasque in the book is 30, but it's a toss-up, which is worse. My money's on the Tarrasque. Boy, with all his abilities, and if any DM gets his hands on that book of the Tarrasque by John Arcadian, it's like the Draconomicon in 3rd edition. You turn dragons and go, wow.
I was getting ready to wonder why the Terrasque is in Castles and Crusades, considering it's D&D IP that could be distinct, but Terrasque is a legendary monster. So
Correct.
yes. So
We can even have it in Mud Sword, which we will.
We will.
Guaranteed.
And there will be no kaiju that's bigger than him. He will be the king boss kaiju.
And Cthulhu in our campaign will be afraid of the Tarrasque.
Well, Cthulhu's not a kaiju.
I know. He's a guy. He's like an elder god. I don't know. There's distinctions. Cthulhu is he's much more than mortals. I mean, way past even the Tarrasque is much more than mortals. So to be fair, I don't know. That's sweet though. I like some Cthulhu mention too. Either way.
I think if you have a Tarrasque, you're in your campaign world, and you're going to also insist on Cthulhu, someone's going to have to just punch you in the nuts.
Why?
Like, I mean, really? Tarrasque and Cthulhu? Why don't you just have a tag team? Them show up and they tag team you.
I think that would be good.
When the Tarrasque gets a little tired, maybe the PCs, get scratches Carapace maybe a tiny bit. He says, "Oh, I'm going to sit this." Tags out to Cthulhu, says, "All right, you can handle these guys for a couple of rounds."
And if the PCs are extra tough,
I'm gonna go over here and eat a village or two while you're doing that.
And then Cthulhu can tentacle out whenever it's time to get out. Yeah.
And all Cthulhu really, the elder god, has to do is just, make everybody despair. I mean, exude his dark nature. He probably doesn't even have to act.
I am pretty sure, and Mr. T-shirt could help us out here. Cthulhu and the D20 Cthulhu, he was ridiculous. There was like no way a 20th level party would have a shot against him. He was crazy powerful. He had some kind of like freaky mental screw. Yeah, this is cool. I like both of these. I like Malachis, who said a Tarrasque is a harbinger of an apocalypse. I like that. That's a cool one. So if your campaign, you have high level characters and the Tarrasque shows up, let's say the party puts him down or gets rid of him, right? Puts him back in his hole or whatever, or kills him, whatever. They're like, man, that was great. And then the wizard's like, dude, I just read something in a book. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of something worse.
Right.
That would be so cool for a high level game.
That would be how you would do the great old one.
Yes.
So Tarrasque is a harbinger for an apocalypse, and then, way off in the distance, you see Cthulhu, waving a tentacle or two, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
If you wanted to stick in pure D&D, though, you could also have that could be a precursor to a super high, powerful Gith Yankee invasion led by the Lich Queen herself.
Oh, sure. Or maybe the Illithid have figured out a way to initiate a solar eclipse, and now they're going to invade the surface at will, and then kiss your butts goodbye. Yeah,
T-shirts confirmed. Elder gods, outer gods, great old ones are pretty much TPK material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just take them at their legendary status, if you listen to any Cthulhu material, I mean, anything from that involves them, what's the fella's name that wrote all of that stuff? I forgot somehow.
Who wrote Lovecraft?
Lovecraft. Any of that Lovecraft stuff, except for when you have somebody who kind of barely scratches the surface and then decides, okay, time to get out of here. Mm-hmm. It's a rare instance. Most of the time they get in too deep and they become fish people or go insane or something like that.
Martinson made it funny. He said, would the Tarrasque come in on a silver surfboard? The Herald of Goliath. Martinson, right on, dude. That's money. That's money. Yeah.
It would be a pretty big surfboard.
Yeah, but I mean, it's perfect. Him and Malachi's idea, that's basically the idea, right?
Yeah.
All people of Earth, please let me eat you because you'll like being in my belly more than you'll like being in Cthulhu's nightmarish dream state forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Believe me, I've been there. It's no good.
It's no fun. My belly will kill you quickly. Hey, you might get lucky. Maybe you'll cut out. If you do.
Nobody knows the inside of Cthulhu like I do.
And it's not good. Oh, sweet.
All right.
Shall we talk about some alternate takes? Because I think they're some of the most fun. Or do we want to do them? I think we've kind of done the background. Or do you want to do? We talked about the St. Martha stuff early on. So
yeah.
We did the etymology.
Let's see.
Yeah. So I
think
have them all loaded up if you want me to show them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I'm going to say what I think is my favorite for last, but here is the 5e book of Tarrasque, and I got to share, so bear with me here. Share screen. There we go. And share. So this is the 5e book of the Tarrasque, and tell me if you guys can see this, okay? Make it a little bigger. So now this is 5e, but just look at some of the cool things. It says tiered regeneration, which is kind of a balancing act, though that's a little bit of a weaker one. Tiered regeneration major, look at that. When he gets down to 199, he starts regenerating 80 hit points around. Regeneration constant, regenerates 60 hit points around. He gets the rush and the trample. I've done this. The Tarrasque has a controlling entity. One time I had a Lich at Gen Con. I ran a Tarrasque based adventure, 2nd edition, high level for 18 plus level characters. And they were defending a city, and the Lich was controlling the Tarrasque. The players love that part. That was favorite.
Oh, yeah.
You still see here. Lightning breath, someone had mentioned in the chat there for a breath weapon, not bad. What else?
Dispelling.
Here? Oh, you find the dispelling. Yeah. Rubble throw, so you can't get far away from it. That's pretty boss. I'm going too fast? Tourette's?
No.
Okay, let me scroll up here a little more. That was it. I think that was some of his big ones that he listed.
But that lightning breath was dispelling. Does that mean what I think it means?
Oh, let's see.
So it shoots you with lightning, and then it dispels stuff.
Your magic. Hosiery. Complete hoser. Yeah.
Well, if it was an old school dispel magic effect, it would affect all of them and all your magic, not just. I know they weakened it in later editions to just take out one effect.
Yeah, but I don't know if this right here is the official 5e Tarrasque. He doesn't look too imposing to me, but
25 armor class.
Yeah.
Well, it's 5e stats, so they're all weenified. So
they are. He has magic resistance against all spells, reflective carapace.
So look at the hit points.
676. Yeah.
It's an odd number.
Yes.
It's almost like they wanted to say 666, but said, "Nah, let's make it 76." Because
here's the deal. Screw that. I would never run. Why I mentioned the hit dice. I like the D20 part. I would give homie 990. I'd give him max hit points. I would never roll for the Tarrasque hit points. I'm sorry. I don't care what the book says. If I knew the hit dice, and this is what I mean, back in the day, dragons, I love mostly max hit points. So yeah.
Well, the other thing is, it shouldn't be variable necessarily because there's only one. And it, how is a single creature, unique creature's hit points variable? Unless, maybe he has indigestion this time you meet him, or maybe he just had a big fight and he's kind of wounded a little bit. But the maximum hit points for this dude should be max, like you said.
Just give him 990. T-shirt says he uses D20 for hit points. Yes, sir, he does, baby. And he should. I think in all versions of the game, he should. He should be. I mean, it shouldn't be uncommon for him to have a couple of thousand hit points. I don't care.
Well, I think if you're running an earlier edition game, that would be, you would definitely be putting him way out of even the highest level PC's abilities, because 1,000 hit points as a first edition AD&D party, you send up, you face something with 1,000 hit points. You're not knocking them down anytime soon. He's going to have lots of attacks.
Dude, I like Darth's idea, because I've always liked him as a force of nature too, Darth. He says, as a force of nature, I like the idea of his presence causing atmospheric anomalies, random call lightnings. Oh yeah, dude. I like the cut.
They had Godzilla doing that in some of the older movies, I think.
Sure. He's so dang big.
I think one of the original movies with Godzilla, as he was coming in from the ocean, because he was born in the ocean from toxic sludge, I think, something like that, from radioactive waste of some kind.
Right.
When it came out of the water, I think it caused like some kind of a tsunami or flooding or what along the coast. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Martinson reminded me of the Mythic game I ran at Cabin Con, where I used a controlled version of the Terrasque. I had Ius slay the Tarrasque, the old one. Then he bound Orcus inside of the Tarrasque Carapace and created a golem, undead type golem, bouncing around the realms, just killing stuff, and it had a radius of undead creation. As the people fell, they were created. Go ahead, T-shirt. Read the T-shirt, Joe.
Some from T-shirt Historian. Someday I'm going to run Godbound. I've seen that referred to, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. And the players will go through the Tomb of Horrors and eventually fight the Tarrasque all in one day. Wow. But these are demigods, so maybe Godbound you roll with demigods.
Godbound is Kevin Crawford's game along the lines of Stars Without Numbers, World Without Numbers, but meant for super epic play.
Oh, okay. Kevin Crawford.
Yeah, he did Stars Without Numbers. I've got both of those beautiful books. I don't know.
Okay.
We need to play it at some point.
Yeah. Right, Martinson. Born from atomic testing in the Pacific. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of course back then, no one was. Everyone was down on nuclear power, everything.
Right. Let me find another. Am I sharing this one now? Maybe not.
Nope, nothing's being shared except your face.
Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Chrome tab. There we go. From GM Binder. This is an alternate take on the Tarrasque for 5e. I think I'm sharing now.
Yes.
This is interesting, and this is pretty boss. He uses a little bit of the being feared by the powers, unhinged destruction, and he goes about ways to stop it and send it back. But boy, you look at these 5e stats, I'm telling you, the Titan King of Annihilation. Is that big enough? Should I make it bigger to read?
1,165 hit points. 50 D20.
Yeah. 40 strength. Yeah, homie's rolling in. It's pretty awesome there. Reflective Carapace. Listen to this. Reflective Carapace. Anytime the Tarrasque is targeted by a magic missile spell, a line spell, or a spell that requires a ranged attack roll a d12. On a 1 to 10, the Tarrasque is unaffected. On an 11 or 12, the Tarrasque is unaffected, and the effect is reflected back at the caster.
That's a callback to an earlier version of that where they used D6. So, yes, they're just not affected, but sometimes it's bad for you too.
Yeah, if he's here's a Restorative Existence. No form of attack can suppress the Tarrasque regeneration. It regenerates even if disintegrated or slain by a death effect. The Tarrasque fails a save against an effect that would kill it instantly. It rises from death 3 rounds later with 1 hit point. And if no further damage is inflicted upon it, it can be banished, wished, or otherwise transported as a means to save a region. But the method to truly kill it has yet to be discovered. That's a pretty good interpretation. I like defeating it, not actually killing it.
Yeah, but you put its remains in a portable hole or something like that in another pocket dimension.
Yep.
Maybe have something that constantly makes it have like just under 1 hit point, so it's never wakes up.
Yeah. Oh God, this is an interesting T-shirt. I've always wondered. He says, "Pick up Scarlet Heroes." That's another one of Kevin Crawford's rule sets. Even the free version, you'll be so happy you did. I should check that out. Is it kind of a BECMI take?
Probably all his other stuff is, as far as I remember. Although, I wonder what we'll have to pick up. God, was it Godbound or
Godbound? Yeah,
Godbound. Okay, I don't think I have got Worlds Without Number yet.
It's really
stars. He has Stars Without Number and Worlds Without Number. Godbound. And what was this thing that you just put up or just referred to?
Scarlet Heroes.
Scarlet Heroes. Okay.
And most of Kevin's stuff, you can get a small free PDF of it online. You can get the free PDF that gives you some of the basic rules, and you can get a feel for the rules. I'm not sure how much I like his rules set, but again, I can't judge because I haven't played it yet. So I can just look at the books and go, wow, they're beautiful. And I haven't found a copy of Godbound. I think Godbound's kind of was a low print run, and it's kind of hard to find unless you got to go to. Do you got to go to RPG? Maybe. Well, do you got to go to Big Geek Emporium to get it?
At some point.
At some point, you'll have.
Well, that's if Kevin Crawford puts his stuff on my site.
T-shirts. He's tight. He's like this with K Crawford, so he'll hook us up.
KC, get KC on my site.
Yeah, we gotta have the KC. So here's a little.
You got a cookies message.
Yes. Yeah. No, thank you, Cookie. This is my favorite Terrasque, but it's mainly because of what he can do. So those that don't know 13th age rules, it doesn't seem that great. Plus 19 is pretty good. Check the damage out. They do constant damage. You don't roll dice for damage. 155 damage, cataclysmic tail slap, all kinds of sweet awesomeness for the Tarrasque. Legendary the legendary resistance is pretty boss. You can only get it. It's only affected, Joe, by any kind of condition if you burn a 5 or a 6 on your relationship point.
Icon supported effort.
Right. You have to get effort from that to pull that off. 13th age, that means that's really hard to handle.
So you'd already have to have a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
So if you started the session and nobody has a 5 or a 6, then you're not beating it.
I thought it was funny that they put the nastier specials of fear. I think that would be default. And I would not even think about it. The Tarrasque would absolutely get both of those powers. Regeneration, 230 hit points per round.
Yeah, but fewer than 216 hit points.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably 10th. That's
most characters.
That's almost all levels of character.
Yeah.
You don't have lots of hit points in this.
But I believe a paladin at 10th level can cut down on the fear issues for people. But you're right. It's a little overboard, but I'm okay with that. I do like the fact that when the Tarrasque is finally killed, all that really happens is he lumbers off. I don't know if it says it in there. It does in the main book. He lumbers off and just finds a place to hide. So in other words, you literally can't kill it. The best you can do is send it back to its hidey hole.
Yeah, that's one way to interpret the Tarrasque. Instead of doing the whole wish, beat it down, do a wish. You just all you do is send it back to sleep. You don't really kill it.
Yeah. So I know we're not ranking them yet. We've done a couple of monsters at this point. We've done we've done the undead, corporeal, and incorporeal, and I think the Terrasque. Is that the only 3 we've done? Is that 3 monster mashes? I should number this one. I think it's only 3.
Something like that.
Yeah. Terrasque has got to appear in my top 10 monsters. He's just too cool. I don't know how we can't have him in there. But anywho.
It cannot be without him.
No, it's possible.
I think it's probably non-binary.
It probably is. Which makes
gender non-conforming.
Yes. And that's what makes him so powerful. I mean, he's going to be stunning and brave. He's a stunning and brave monster. Stunning, stunning. I agree. He doesn't be very brave. He doesn't need bravery.
No.
Don't need it at all.
No. I'm not sure what it operates under, but bravery probably isn't the right description.
Nah, he'd be like, I just do what I do, yo.
I do what I do.
Yeah. So shall we? We're going to move on to my Venger.
Let's move on to Venger Con. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Do it.
We are in between. We're in the in between times right now, which means I'm hitting you with a subscribe. Do it now. Baby. If you haven't done it before now is a good time. So now, how about let's see where we are at. Oh, this is the wrong page. Oh, I'm floundering. Let's see here. I'm trying to bring up our thing. Okay. We were at 303 before we started. Let's see what happened. Nothing. 303.
That's pretty good.
That's good. I'll take it. 300 means we can have our videos automatically backed up over at Odyssey. All the stuff except for videos 2 hours and longer, which is a lot of our stuff. So it won't capture everything.
No capturing.
No.
Okay.
Hey, look at this. Shauner, been waiting for the Venger Con stuff.
Oh, I hope it's good, Sean. I hope you don't hate it. So me and 3 of our buddies road trip to Madison from here in Michigan. Takes about 7 hours. Some slow going. Nice little town, good little location, the Doubletree on the east side of Madison. And we rolled in there on Thursday morning. I can't recall if we met anybody there. I don't think so. But before we went there, we stopped off at Lake Geneva. So why did we do that? Well, 2 things. I'm not a huge fan of La Nasa, but I had to see the Dungeon Hobby Shop. And
Just from the outside?
we went in. I didn't spend any money there, but I had to take a look at it. It was free to look around. You have to pay it all. I guess I want to try to do.
Is it the picture you showed with the dragon head?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me.
Got to say the building. No, it's just a house that they turned into.
Yeah. So let me
Yeah,
find.
so-
This is the outside of the Dungeon Hobby Shop for those who haven't seen it. I might make it a little bigger, and that's actually close to where we parked. But that's the entryway up that ramp, and that was pretty cool. Let's see, how do I switch this around? If I just take it out, it kicks me out. Crap. Is there a way to switch those pics without me coming out of the share screen, Joseph?
You'd have to Alt Tab. I'm not sure you have your funny Apple device there, so I'm not sure what they do.
So this is the case of awesomeness. So
Pictures pixelating.
Agreed. At the very top, is in center is a wood grain box. Now the young man that was there claimed they paid 10 grand for that box. I believe being wood grain, that makes it one of the first of the 1,000 that Gary. I'm a Max user, Shauner. Yes, and he is too, I think. So anyway, he claimed that was it, and it's worth 20,000 now. I don't know. If you look in the second row, there's a white box. Third row, there's a white box. So he had quite the collection. Then the first edition books. He even has a collection of all the minis. You see the tiny books? Can you see that down to the very bottom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's the tiny books. Those are kind of neat. He showed us the monster manual. It was neat to see that. I kind of enjoyed those. And the place has several little old school like letters from Gary and stuff. So they definitely got some of the sweet stuff. It was very, very nostalgia-esque. Let me see here. Then this is the one I really liked. The first issue of Dragon magazine. That was on the wall. I asked the young man if it was for sale, and he said, go ahead.
Technically, it's called The Dragon.
Right. The Dragon.
It didn't get called Dragon magazine for several issues after that. I'm not sure when that started, but it was called The Dragon. Yeah.
I thought The Dragon and the mini books were the coolest. I remember when the mini books came out, and I'm like, why would I want to buy tiny little books? But The Dragon, Volume 1, Issue 1, pretty sweet. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. He said everything in there was technically for sale, which sounds like that crew. This young man, I don't think he was part of the creative process, but he was.
Was it including him?
How much for you, young man?
Everything here is for sale. What about you?
I'm kind of hungry. You look tasty, says the trollish old man.
I need a servant. You could iron my clothes and make sure everything's ready for me.
Yeah. What did Killraven say here? Seeing that makes me sad. My copy. Oh, your copy of a first issue of a Dragon magazine went away.
Oh,
that is sad.
That stinks.
Yeah, but
that stinks.
We walked down the street. I mean, it was literally like, I don't know, 30 yards from where we were at. Was because that was the first building where TSR, I think, started the company, and then across the street a little bit was Gary's house, and we went in to check that. We didn't get to go. We didn't go in. The lady that owns it now will do free tours, but you have to request them. This is let's see, one of the views of the house, really pretty small, and it was kind of cool. But thinking that he had 5 kids, that's a little crazy for that. Then I liked this. This is what I shared I think on Facebook. There's a window shot where she had a little dragon in the window. I think this is it. Yeah. So there was a dragon there. Here I'm clicking all this, but anyway, that was pretty cool. And they had little flyers there outside on a little table that you could take. I've got one. I don't think I have it handy, so I can't show that little flyer. But yeah, it was just kind of neat to see it. It was kind of a bucket list thing to do. So I have to admit, I did quite enjoy that part. It was very nostalgic. And kind of a cool little thing to do. But then we got to Venger Con, and when we got there, the hotel was very nice. They had the pool and all that stuff. That was good. We didn't really stay for that. We had 2 rooms. We did stay till about 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. Then we left. They game till I think 4 on Sunday. 25 or 26 attendees over the couple of days. I think on Saturday was the largest day. I ran OSE 2 sessions, about 4 hours long.
I want to interrupt right quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, one. How well can you hear me right here? Does it sound muffled?
I hear it fine.
How much was the ticket?
$100.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was, I think I talked to Venger. Sean or stood on Geekosphere, didn't get yelled at to get off. Yeah, you could. I think the lady was pretty chill about stuff. I didn't see her, but there was not like a big crowd or anything. You could go right up to it.
I was wondering if it was 50 or 100. So 100.
Yeah, he was shooting for 100. He was thinking he'd get 50, and he ended up with 25 or 26. So, but the thing was, and this is where I'm going to give a nod to it being like Cabin Con, it was just a bunch of dudes, and we're hanging out. We got to know each other the first day. I know, like 6, 7 guys within 20 minutes, and we're going to get lunch. You want to go? Yeah. I mean, a shout out to some of the guys out there. I mean,
it's all guys?
Yeah, it was all males, and we had people from as far as with Indianapolis. We had Michigan, of course, and of course several from Madison area. We had New York, Philadelphia. Where else? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Rochester, New York, Philadelphia. Oh, San Francisco. So, quite a eclectic group. It was very, cool. I was impressed. People flew out to it. I think it was very fun. 1,000 experience points. Yeah.
Achievement unlocked.
Yes. The games we played, the games that I saw run and played, I played OSE. I played DCC quite a bit. A little shout out to the boy Mike W out there in Philly. He ran some DCC for us. Gosh, if he's watching this, I believe after playing it, it's not any fault of Mike's, but I'm putting it in the same category of 13th Age that I think I like it for one shots. Man, there's a lot of tables, Joe.
DCC?
Yeah. Mike did a great job. We had a good time. We did a funnel the first day. Then we went to our first level adventure the next day, and we played for like 6 hours. I tuckered out. We got tired. We were going to go for 8. I couldn't make it. And just too old.
It has a gonzo element, so the tables add to that.
Crazy town. At one point, my character, I touched this thing, and my body disappeared, and I was just 2 eyeballs. And I couldn't say a word. I wasn't supposed to talk at all. And I didn't even have flesh, so I couldn't like wink and stare. And that's true. Max makes a good point at Legion. DCC is all tables, but I agree. But when you're playing, holy crap, constant table reference. So I could roll around in this dungeon. Now I could go up walls and under doors, which is kind of cool, but I couldn't make a sound. Finally, one of the players said, "Hey, why don't you move this way, Randy, if you mean yes, and that way if we mean no."
Hey, I need to shout out Legion of Myth as well. He had me on last Friday.
Oh, cool.
On the chill stream, we talked about Big Geek Emporium as well. I don't want to forget that.
Cal is tricking me here. I'm not sure what he means here.
What is number 1 hoe for now? Hoe.
I don't know.
We don't have a number 1 hoe.
No, we treat all hoes equally.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same to us. There was at least 1 or 2 homebrewed games that folks talked about. I think 1 or 2 played. There was a 1984-85 Conan game that a couple of our buddies played in. Huh. Venger read like a demon, like 6 to 8
Was it the
hours.
Conan rules from Chainmail?
No, it was like a 1980s Conan, like mid-80s, 88. I remember there was a game. They didn't like it too much. They didn't like the game that much. There was BECMI and rules, Cyclopedia galore.
Right.
One guy from San Fran had his own game. He ran for some of the guys. Yeah, I mean, it was just really cool. But like every day you'd have lunch, hang out into the evening. Chicago. We had a couple from Chicago. I forgot that. That was our Oaks and Colin from the Dead Game Society. He was a cool cat. A lot of them were cool. They were just good dudes. I tell you what, they would just fit in perfectly. I mean, they would just, a lot of them are very old school type guys. I know one of them, Oaks, was not, and it's okay. I'm not mad if you're listening. Oaks is completely cool. He prefers mapping, and I didn't map in my game, so that wasn't his favorite.
It needs more Earth Dawn, apparently.
Well, Max, dude, you know how to fix that, don't you? Venger Con 2, homeboy.
Yeah.
Come on over. Run it.
And
yep. Call him out now. Come run it. We play. If you run it, we play.
We have to price out our own place here, but if we are going to run our own con, which we've talked about, under the Big Geek banner,
right?
We can't help but get at least that many people.
Oh, we'll get fit. I mean, I'm not trying to brag and put a little thing on Venger, but we're gonna break that 25
easy
day one because we got 50 people counting family, friends. We got people who got kids who are players. We would have it day one, and we're gonna. I know my wife. I've already told her she loves the idea. I said, but you're helping. I said, you're gonna be helping. She goes, I'm good with that. She'd be happy to get in there and help.
Oh yeah, you two, the anal organizers sent from heaven. I mean,
we will get that. But Venger did a great job. He came in, gave us a little. Why screw us? Why is he saying screw us?
Legion Myth says to those who are listening and not watching, screw you guys.
That's a Joe saying. But yeah, Venger did a good job. And look, I ain't knocking Venger at all. He's a little new age for me sometimes. He was up there talking about his signals. Oh, hold on. I got to show you. So like I told you guys.
He put a picture of one of them on social media somewhere.
Here's what he drew for me.
That looks like an amoeba.
But dude, it was all right. And I bought Chalt.
Have you read it or looked through it at all?
I thumbed through it first because I didn't want a bunch of porn.
I don't think there's that much. I don't think there's any of that in there.
Mostly a couple of sexy babes, which is no worse than any other D&D book, and some pretty cool looking stuff. So we'll see. I did buy this, which is extreme. The language is harsh, though it's hilarious. Oh, what is Legion saying?
70% of all Friday night chill stream super chats, because YouTube takes 30%. We'll go for giveaway prizes from the Discami Indiegogo fundraiser. The leftover will be a straight donation to Discami. I don't know what Discami is. I'll have to look that up. Is that a comic book or is that a RPG?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll look it up. Anyway,
yeah.
So you thumbed through it. You didn't find anything visually upsetting.
No, yeah, well, this is hard to upset me. I was like, I just don't want to have porn in my house.
Right.
This is funny, a little extreme. How to game master like an effing boss. That's pretty funny.
Same thing. The guy's small mouth, so it's anime RPG.
And this is the first edition of his Crimson Dragon Slayer RPG. So I'm going to look at that. It looks pretty basic and simple. But it was like $10 for each one of those paperbacks and 30 for Chalt. And you know what? I just want to help Venger out, man.
Sure.
Screw the man.
He's getting screwed by drive-through. Right. Red Room is getting screwed by drive-through.
Yeah, man. I'm going to buy some of their stuff too, probably. One of the guys there, I believe this is the San Fran guy, and he has two YouTube, so I'll shout him out here. Dream of the Dragon. That's really hard to read, but he's got his own RPG. Now I got to dive into it. Dream of the Dragon.
You got to center your stuff up there, dude. Just all off to the right.
How's that?
There you go.
Dream of the Dragon by Ivan Richmond. He has a YouTube site.
Does he have if he has a website that can be downloaded from?
I don't know. He has this.
Oh, there's that. Okay.
Anyway, but Ivan was a pretty good cat. I don't quite understand the game. It says Dream of the Dragon is a rules light RPG making RPG. I don't know. But anyway, he's from San Fran, man. You know, give him a break. He's struggling. He's struggling.
They put the screws to their people out there.
They do, man. He was a good cat. So yeah, the gaming was off the hook, off the chain, whatever the hell that means for the young kids. It was cool. I would say VengerCon 2 is very likely, though he's going to be giving an announcement next week. I think it felt like CabinCon because, like I said, we were all hanging out together. I did put some pics on our web page. Did I put it on our website page, Joe? I think I did.
Did you do what?
Oh, did I put some of those pics on the website? Our website?
No, because you can't.
I can't. Joe does not allow me to do stuff.
I believe you put him on Facebook, though.
Okay.
You put him. That's the only social media thing that you have available to you.
Right. Joe won't allow me to do nothing.
Well, you don't want a Twitter.
I don't. I really don't. I'll let Joe tweet for me.
You're not much of a masochist.
We did need cards, though. Several folks, we talked about having cards made. I should have really gone after that because several folks, hey, you got a card? But I wrote, I friended them all and I sent them we changed phones. I told you about the two guys that are interested in helping you if you need it. With, what do they call it?
It could be that some of those guys, through whatever you did, your efforts there, upped our subscriber count here on YouTube. It's quite possible.
It's possible. I had a little stand with oh crap. Let's see if I got it.
You made a little paper tent.
Hold on a second.
Paper tent.
Well, I went a little fancier. I went to Staples and bought this. This will really excite people. This is so fun. I went to Staples and bought this little plastic stand and put. There we go. Big Ecology Importing is coming. Ooh. Games of your making. Check us out. Website, YouTube. The other side was, and it's one of these little doohickeys that's got.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Base. The other side was my adventure.
Gotcha.
So, but one guy guessed the module that I was basing my adventure on, which was Amber.
Oh yeah. All you have to do for people who are geeked out like us, all you have to do is mention a few of the names, and then, yeah.
So, but
don't reveal.
Yeah, I had some good ideas. I winged things as I went and did kind of off the cuff. It was fun. Yeah, Josh did suggest that. He did.
Having cards.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but
he suggested this thing.
Because we talked about cards. I think what it ended up being is by the time it dawned on us that we should have some business cards out there, it was kind of too late to get them printed out.
Yeah, I was pleased. I mean, I was very pleased with it. I think for a small group of guys, they all kind of knew us. The first day, me and the other three guys all wore the biggest Geekosphere shirts, so we were representing. So it was pretty cool.
That's cool. I don't have that shirt on right now, but
it's
a good. We actually have the same shirt on.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
The faded one, not the really cool one that they fixed for us.
Yeah, mine didn't. Mine held up pretty well in the wash compared to some of the other guys.
The original one did. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Our buddy Patrick makes these T-shirts every year, and this past year but the guys that made the T-shirts, the printing press, they were super cool. They replaced all the ones that were junked up. So I use this as a workout shirt or work around the house shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's about it. Any questions you had for me about Venger Con? Or if somebody in the chat has a question, I can tell them.
Well, I'll start because I'm above the chat.
Correct.
So
God Emperor of Biggest Geekus.
So you said you were going to try to have a drink with him, but you said you would just talk to him a little bit.
Just chatted for a little bit, and he told me in regards to running a con, the hotel was cool. I hope I'm not sharing too much, but Venger said he had originally had 4 ballrooms prepared, and he noticed near the end, like a few weeks away, dang, I'm only going to have enough people for 2, and he was worried about the cost. He had more room set aside. The hotel was super cool. 2 weeks away, they still said, fine, won't charge you. Don't worry about it. So they backed off.
So he didn't have to pay for it all up front and then hope that he got enough people to come.
I think he did, yes.
Oh.
Right. Well, no, not fully, because they backed things off. So, but he had to probably give his credit card to say, hey, you're holding this. If you get left holding the bag, you get left holding the bag.
Sure. But the other thing, I've been told that if you get rooms at get ballrooms and whatnot, conference rooms at a hotel, that they insist that you eat their food.
They did not. In fact, they offered us free. They had water is all they offered. So we could bring our own snacks in. We did not.
Oh, that's cool.
But there was a restaurant right across the way. So a lot of guys did there. I didn't think the food was that impressive for the price. So we went out every night for supper.
The best thing to do when you go to these long things is you're in a hotel. It's hard to store food. Yeah. But if you can, buy your own and bring it. Because
I took some for lunch. I ate lunch in my room every day. Went out on the other times. I thought Venger told me too that he did have to look around. He checked out 3, 4, 5 places. He's in San Francisco. Who's he talking about?
The game that you held up, the paper, that's at San Francisco. The guy,
the Dragon. Yeah,
the Dragon. The fellow who does that is in San Francisco.
I believe that's the one. Ivan can correct me, but I think he was the one that did that.
I don't think we answered that, but I think we mentioned it. How much does the Dragon number 1 go for now? I know that it was mentioned that they bought it for, you said 10,000?
Oh, no.
No, that was the boxed, the wood grain box. I don't think you mentioned how much he paid for the Dragon number 1.
No,
I imagine it's I doubt it's 10,000, but it's probably
probably a couple hundred.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm trying to do a quick search here. I don't know. Dragon.
Right. So as far as Venger Con goes, it was fun.
Yeah, and
you met some new folks.
Yeah, I met some new folks. I mean, these guys, they'd come to Cabin Con anytime. We would have a good time with these dudes.
Cool. Well, if that many people came to Cabin Con, we'd have to get a new venue because there's no way we could fit 50 people there.
No.
I mean, not without Karen acquiescing to campers or tents or something like that, because there's absolutely not enough space there would be a lot of weird things happening if all the beds were doubled up.
Yeah, I don't. We kind of said, $1,500 on eBay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of cash. So
I'll find a PDF. Thank you.
No, I'm not paying that much.
Might even be able to convince Lulu to print it.
You know what?
Unless you're Legion of Myth. He's had some run-ins with Lulu recently.
If you searched around, you could probably find someone selling off a bundle of those magazines for a much better price, including number 1. Now, to what quality, I don't know. So
who knows?
That was a quick search on eBay. I don't know what they wanted. I didn't offer it. I knew it'd be something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It was fun. Mm-hmm. It's not like it was catered or anything like that.
No,
there wasn't a vendor hall, but several of the folks there had some of their own things to, kind of, hey, this is what I have and whatnot.
I've run a small con at my college. I don't know if you weren't around here then.
No, I was not.
First couple of years I moved to Michigan, and I had 2 vendors. It was easy. It was 2 game store guys I knew, a comic shop owner nearby. You know him. Also another one. They showed up with stuff, had product. One of them offered product for prices for games. He was really cool. You know who it is, a comic guy. He's an awesome guy.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you we could get him and probably a couple of folks around, a couple of game stores nearby to probably show up and be a little vendor hall should we have a biggest, geekest type con. What?
Well, Legion had some issues with Lulu. So you are not allowed to print a product or IP you don't own, whether you purchase the PDF or not. Well, they're not really enforcing that. So like he says, apparently people have been using Lulu to print PDFs that they've bought on drive-through because it can be a little cheaper and easier to deal with, I guess, for some people.
Oh, I see.
Than dealing with drive-throughs printing thing.
Yeah.
But I know I can't remember. It was Crafty Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Displaying all of his. He would get a PDF and then he would get it printed a particular way where it'd have the plastic spiral thing going through it, and a couple of different IPs that he doesn't own. So, oh yeah. They terminated his account for doing it. So maybe you're like the harbinger of doom for everybody who does that. Hopefully not. I don't know why they would single you out unless somebody, some of these what's the word that I heard today? Danger hair individuals put a bug in somebody's butt for you.
Oh, I believe you, Max.
Oh, I believe you fully. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Jackson Games has a fact on their storefront, says Malachi, about printing through Lulu. Oh, well, I wouldn't be shocked if SJW Games was like that. Yeah. But I will say this. I think VengerCon was awesome. Dudes, we played. There was at least 2 games going on all the time, often 4. And 2 on one side, and they had beautiful dividers. Now we'd be looking for that. So some things I didn't have to ask Venger about because I just saw what he did and said, "This is a good." I think I have some idea for things that would be good for a venue. Should we get a biggest geekest type con going? And I hope he has another one. I don't know if I can make it next year, especially if we get ours rolling. I won't make it because ours will probably be around that time. Or I can't do that many cons. I can't do Cabin Con and R-Con and Venger Con. I'm not gonna spend that kind of money. So.
No, if we end up doing our own con, we'll have to just do that and Cabin Con.
I'll try to
get away with it.
I'll try to have it on a different weekend than VengerCon and try to get Venger down.
Oh yeah, we'll coordinate that. It would be
folks.
We won't worry about.
I'd get a bunch of our folks here down here. That'd be fun. I'd love to have that.
What do you think about bumping heads with Gen Con?
Who gives a crap?
Well,
I mean, I get it.
Don't we still have a few people who want to go?
We do.
Still?
But we do. I guess for our people that still go, we got some homies that are going this year. I won't try. I'm not going to try to bump heads with Gen Con or any con. I'm going to try to pick our own weekend.
It's going to be difficult, but we'll try.
Yeah, we'll try to pick something reasonable.
Lulu, Legion of Myth again. Lulu didn't limit it to SJ Games. I'm not saying don't try. Use it if you can, but just be warned in case Lulu gets a wild hair.
Does Staples get all upset if you take a PDF that you bought and print it out? One copy?
I would imagine Staples prices are higher.
One copy? That's weird. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's a copyright issue. So if they just say you hand them a thumb drive and you say, hey, can you print this thing out? If they don't really look too hard, they probably will, especially if it's all the settings are good enough for them to just plug and play. But
yes, they
do. What is that? Staples? They'll print your PDFs.
You better be careful. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that,
you think Venger what?
VengerCon was a great success, and I think we could mimic that definitely. We'll beat the attendance with just our friends.
Right.
Now, whether we can get it for Venger ran it for 3 days, 2.5 days really, Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday. I think that would be a smart move for us. Friday, maybe even like Friday, Saturday, and just a little bit of Sunday or whatever. We can do the whole day because we're going to be nearby, but we can do whatever. I was surprised he had so many folks across that, but Venger's got a bit of a following. People that are,
Oh, sure. Yeah, he has a following.
So that would be cool. I would love to be.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get more than 25, but I think it went down kind of rapidly, and it's fairly close to Gen Con, so people are still, folks, you might like Gen Con still, but the folks that run it, for most of the folks that are here,
I hate you.
They don't like you very much. Yeah.
But I get it. Do what you want.
It's probably a way for a lot of you to hook up with friends that you have made at Gen Con's past. So I get that.
And it can be fun. Don't get me wrong. It still can be fun.
I've never been, so it's not a loss for me.
I've already given it up. I'm after the BIPOC room this year. I'm done. I know that T-shirt had Venger on, and I heard him mention that he's a pariah in the Madison area. A lot of folks which if you meet the man, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it at all. He doesn't come off as even remotely like in your face about his conservative values. So I don't get it. I guess it's just.
How big is Madison?
200. Wait a minute. Is it 200,000 people? It's kind of big. I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, is it bigger than Bay City?
I'm almost positive.
According to Shauner, Gen Con is all gay. Geghey. I know what you're doing there, buddy. Gen Con is all gay now, just like Comic Con. Yeah.
Yeah. Population about 270,000. So yeah, it's bigger than
Yeah, Bay City's only what, 35?
Yeah, it's big. But it's got a big college. UW's there. University.
So, okay. How is it that
Dig Art Man. I didn't know that. We should make it there. His friends and him started a conference
Lansing
in Lansing called Spartacon. Are you still going, dude? We should come down there. When is it? Going for 30 years?
Cool. At some point, I'll be able to do that kind of stuff, but right now it's kind of difficult. Anyway, pundit in a city of 200,000+ people, he can't get around without getting crap. That's hard to believe.
Who, pundit?
Did you say pundit or Venger?
No. He's not well liked in the gaming community around there.
Venger or pundit?
Venger.
Oh.
I don't think he's not like I know that one game store has said he can't come in. I know he can't run his games at one of the game stores.
Sure, but it's a big town. There's no reason he can't move around without getting issues.
He's not being pitchforked. I'm just saying, maybe I misspoke. He said his name is kind of mud in that area as far as game goes.
The game community.
So
he's not getting a lot of locals there.
But to be fair, Wisconsin's full of game stores. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it has more game stores in that state than anywhere else in the country.
Oh.
I mean, it's the home of gaming, dude.
I guess so. That makes sense.
Minnesota. So I don't know.
I would say we can get, depending on scheduling, we should be able to get 50 people to at least come by for one day. At least, maybe 100.
I think we could. Yeah. We'll see. Venger thought that too. But you know what? If we got 50, I'd be thrilled.
I think we have something he didn't.
Me?
We don't have, we're, okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
No, he did have me.
Well, we don't, okay. So there is a segment of the gaming community that probably looks at us like we're Nazis.
There are. I've read the reviews.
For local reviewers?
No, just on, I was talking about our
reviews on iTunes reviews. 3.6. Right. What I'm saying is there's some local gamers here that think we're in that crowd. True. But I think they're not in the majority of gamers.
I agree.
So if we run a con, especially if we don't put our faces on, if we just call it something, we're going to call it Big Geek Con anyway, so they're going to know.
Small college.
Yeah.
You don't think I have gamers in my class?
Sure.
And so I'll totally pimp it out to them.
Especially if we wait if we do it next year, not this year.
Dude,
right now.
Check this out from Malachi. I'd never heard of that. Oh my goodness. And what does Shauner mean? Just in the con he's banned pretty much? Oh, from what conventions have banned him, Shauner? Interesting. Wow, they burnt the chalk books. I can't believe that. Malachi said that. That's ridiculous. What a bunch of douche nozzles. Wow.
Someone had to have bought them first. That's really dumb. Might as well burn your money. That's stupid.
It's stupid and weak, both.
Because the game store has to buy the books, right? Yeah. They get them at a discount, but
yeah. Venger is not wanted in cons, the gay ones, right?
Gay ones, which is most of them. The big ones. Yeah. Not many. Well, some of the independent ones too, but not. There's a few.
He would definitely be welcome should we get one up and running.
Oh yeah.
So would everyone listening and watching, and even if you are a lefty, I don't care. Come on.
And I'm sure with just 25 people, it was probably still not a big deal as far as family. If someone had brought their kids, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Oh, Malachi said the store bought. Malachi says the store bought them from him to sell, and instead of getting a refund, they burned them. Whatever, dude. If I'm Venger, I'm like, dude, whatever. Thanks for the money, dumb.
Thanks for the money. So yeah, would it have been fine for families to have been there?
Right.
Well, at Venger Con.
Yes.
So it wasn't an
Well,
issue.
I was not in Venger's games. I know
Mhm.
that in my game was very family friendly.
But the environment, I mean, it's not like it's not a con environment like the Gen Con, right?
I feel like that environment probably was better for 18 plus.
Mhm.
Just because the way the guys, when they had drinks, they went across to have drinks. I thought it was a little more adult, but it wasn't like anything extreme. When you played, it was, you know, I guess you could have had young ones there. We didn't have any young kids. I'd be shocked if anybody was underneath 25. Was under 25. So
Well,
doesn't mean they weren't, but
there's some examples. There's some counter examples to that.
right. But a lot of publicity is good.
Yeah, yeah. Because Shauner says any publicity is good publicity, but
Maybe.
anyway, so VengerCon was a success. You had a good time.
Good time.
Learned
Thumbs
some
up.
things for us to run our own con here, because we do plan on doing that under the Big Geek banner.
Yep.
So
I would love for it to happen next year, but we'll see.
Yeah. Once Big Geek Emporium is up and rolling, which hopefully will happen in a few weeks.
Yes.
Yes. We may be, if it's good enough success, we might be able to subsidize part of running the con.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got a lot of people that would help us out probably for free.
Well, we've got people are going to have to buy tickets. It's not going to be free attendance.
Well, no, but if we got our friends helping out at the con, they don't have to pay to come. That would be weird. You're going to charge our friends if they help us out at the con?
Probably.
You're a dirty dog. Oh, sorry. Dirty dog Emperor Joe.
Well, we can't have, if we got 50 people there, 25 of them aren't going to be free.
No,
that's just not, it won't work. I mean, you have to have enough people pay for it to pay for the venue.
But I think
unless we do it in a pole barn.
Do it in the backyard. It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You ready to move on to the last little segment here? Is Max gone? I hope he isn't, because I got a bone to pick with Mr. Liao.
Yeah, so let's see. We are in the random geek, the nerd topics. The first thing we're going to talk about is Total Party Skills has a video out. We're going to have the link in the show notes. And the video is basically a rant. What was the title of it?
Mega
rant or something like that. And hold on. I've got, amazing. He calls his own thing amazing. What's amazing is that he still points his nostrils at the camera, but amazing TTRPG D&D mega rant.
Right.
From July 24th. And I don't even want to put it up on the screen because his nostrils are offensive to me. Anyway, in it, he rants about D&D still being a thing, calls it a child's game. It's an old game. Why are we all still talking about it? But he has to talk about it or else he won't get any views or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
he only has 500 subscribers. It's not like he has a big channel. Whatever he does isn't attracting that many people. We only have 300, but I mean, he's been around a lot longer than us.
Actually, I like to listen to his new ones, and I'm trying to put a finger. I hate to be too hard on him. I try to put a finger on what I don't like, but him calling D&D childish. Look, you can think that if you want to, but I looked it up. Even 5e, only 40% of the players are 25 or under. That means 60% are older than 25. I would call that an adult by any stretch of the imagination. I generally like the guy, but I think this time maybe he's literally angry that everybody talks about D&D, but dude, I can't help it. It's the king.
Right.
He does say that.
So Legion of Myth says, I don't mess with people's channel size. Right. I get that. What I'm saying is he is complaining that he has to talk about D&D in order to maintain his following, when
maybe
I don't think that's true. I mean, maybe he does, but maybe that's because he doesn't have a lot of other interesting things to talk about. We focus on D&D because that's what we know.
Yeah,
right.
And Max is right. They do cover the movie, and they do refute a lot of what he says. And I'm not mad at him, but I just don't know why I can't figure him out. Because sometimes I think he tries to be, I don't know.
But he will have, he had this video on the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at his subsequent videos, but he could have one any day where he completely reneges everything he just said, because he kind of does that kind of thing. Or he'll say, I was kind of upset in that video, but it's no big deal. So what's the point of even responding to it, really? It's odd that he calls it a child's game. It's odd that he complains that it's an old game. So what's an old game? Lots of old things are still relevant and good to participate in. Football's been around for a long time.
Yeah. That's a children's game, technically. I started when I was a child.
How long has baseball been around?
Right.
Or soccer?
Yep.
Or any of those things? Yeah.
Yes.
Chess. Just because it's been around a while doesn't mean it's not worth still talking about or participating in. So yes, Nostril Man, he should probably, one, change the angle of his camera and comb his hair more, and two, he's ranting. In the rant, he also says lots of people complain about things like the D&D movie and wokeness and stuff like that, but he's ranting about us ranting. And a lot of us aren't really ranting. We're just, we're pointing things out that we don't like. And he's like, whatever.
So he didn't like the fact that Legion of Myth gave Venger a voice?
Yeah.
Oh, come
that was it.
on.
Yeah. But so he had the reaction to Drive Through RPG thing where he was big weenie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, we should just let it happen in essence.
Yes.
And then his next video on the subject was, I guess they're being dickheads over there. So, you can't really trust his point of view because it changes so much.
Yeah.
Between videos.
I'll be honest, I enjoy his I have enjoyed Total Party Skills. That just seemed like a weird one. Speaking of the D&D movie, as Max did, have you seen the trailer, Joe? Oh, what is that? What is
fans are fans? If you like something, cheer for it. If you don't like something, complain about it. I'm editorializing. That's what fans do, right? I know I'm much more of a doer than a complainer. I like to rant a little bit, but I'd rather do something about what I don't like, which I have decided not to participate in the Hollywood hijinks. So I have seen the trailer, and I have some nits to pick, but most of it's nitpicking. And my biggest nitpick about the thing is that it displays its intersectional ness. It's probably it's a Paramount picture, but like Netflix, they probably have a diversity office where they have to multiculturalize their cast. They have to, and they have to do that because if they want to be considered for Academy Awards, which Paramount, why wouldn't they be concerned about it? They must have the cast, the main cast has to have certain types of faces, and they can't get around that. So just that being a thing out there in movie land, I'm just going to sit it out.
I'm probably going to. My wife has kind of given up on movies in general, mainly because she has some issues hearing well in the theater. And so I have no reason to pay for it. I liked it more than a lot of people. I'm fine with it being kind of a silly little romp. Max gave his opinion about that on his little video, and I do think it's fine to want something more serious. I kind of don't. I do agree a little. This is where I agree with Waspinator. I think D&D can set itself apart if it was more of a Princess Bride type stories and not trying to be as serious as LOTR or Game of Thrones, but still be good. I like Chris Pine well enough. I will probably watch it if it comes to Netflix. It may not come to Netflix at some point. Like I said, I will probably watch it. I thought the part where they're getting chased by a displacer beast and they dive into a gelatinous cube, which I believe Max pointed out, is kind of stupid. And by kind of, I mean very.
Yeah, let's jump into acid because that's basically what you do.
That's basically what you're doing. That's kind of dumb. But I did like, as much as I felt Michelle Rodriguez was kind of ridiculous as a barbarian and a 5'0" female throwing around people. I told Joe before the podcast, if they have her with a strength belt, I'll be good. But they probably won't talk about that. We're supposed to believe she literally has 20 strength at 5'0". And that's fair, Max. He says he's sick of silly romps. It doesn't need to be LOTR. How about Dragonlance? Fair enough. Avatar trilogy, I would enjoy that. Anything Ravenloft, yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just different. I'm cool with it being a little tongue-in-cheek and funny because I think someone said it. I mean, it's like, how do you play? Max may not. We always have a little fun at our table, but we do tend to like our D&D serious, believe it or not. But I get it when I play D&D and think about how D&D goes, especially this past weekend. There's a lot of fun and there's a lot of goofing. So, yeah, absolutely agree, Darth. That's fair. Aaron Wilkerson. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy with a fantasy twist. And they're doing that everywhere. Ever since Guardians came out, Love and Thunder, Ragnarok, that's kind of the new formula for Marvel. And I guess that's the one part that would draw me away. Because if it's going to be Marvel-like, as long as the comedy's funny and not utterly stupid, I'm good with it.
What people point out about these movies is what they'll do is the comedy, instead of maybe reinforcing the serious tone.
I'm sorry, I have to break, so I'll keep going, bud.
Instead of the comedy reinforcing the serious tone, it short circuits the seriousness of the situation. So, and that's never good. The other thing is, Michelle Rodriguez is Scowly McScowface. I'm tired of seeing her and stuff, to be honest. I don't get her draw at all. So, right. So, when I say I'm going to sit it out, I'm not necessarily just talking about this movie. I'm just talking about Hollywood in general. They run their programs with what's the word I'm looking for? Quotas, with racial quotas, with sexual quotas, and it's not telling a good story first. It's giving it a veneer of acceptability for a very small part of our of the citizenry, of the watching public. They're trying to satisfy very few people, and I'm tired of it. I'd rather just sit and watch a good movie and not have to worry, not have to even think about this stuff. But it's too late. They've beat us over the head with this stuff too much. Every time I see it's a barbarian, that should be a dude. I don't care. It should be a dude.
Big dude, right on. Yeah, quit kind of bullcrap the super tiny female that's super strong. Make her the little thief or the wizard that she should be.
Michelle Rodriguez isn't necessarily super tiny, but she's not super buff either. I don't see why anybody wants her in their movies. What's the draw? She has the same look in just about every role. It's just that I don't know.
Hold on, I want to find something. I got to know. Michelle Rodriguez, 5'5", dude.
She's tiny, yeah.
Tiny. She could, on her best day, she couldn't flip me over. No way. But anyway, yeah, like I said, as far as the trailer goes, had it been 10 years ago, I'd have probably been like, I don't really care. I don't mind the tiefling part. Max went off on the tiefling thing because I kind of agree with Waspinator there. I think it's part of the current D&D. It
is. That's what's going to be there.
And I'm not too put off with the crazy races. That will set them apart from Lord of the Rings and stuff. However, like I said, I just don't want to give them my money. That's the thing. In the end, yeah, I don't want to.
The thing I will say about the multitude of races is that, and it's something that that one D&D movie had, when they went into a tavern, it looked like a Star Wars tavern.
Yes.
And it's not a D&D tavern. Because I would say they should be distinct. So I just
Max is I'm remembering something wrong. I thought he was against it. He says, I don't like tieflings in general, but I think he said it's 5. Okay. He said expect it. Fair enough.
Yeah, we should.
I may have misquoted you. Sorry, bud.
We should expect it, but this is not necessarily like it.
But I'm about to get you, Max. I got something for you tonight, dude. I'm holding this off to the end.
Yeah. Waiting to lay that hammer down.
So I'm just gonna tell him how I feel.
Oh, one before we get into that. We're not going to do the contest because it's an off day, or we thought it was an off day.
Yeah.
But we've had 20, so we probably could have done it.
We probably could have done it tonight. Let's wait.
But we decided not to, so sorry about your luck if you thought we were going to.
Should I pimp the stuff again?
Yeah, show them. Show the good peoples.
Next week, if all things go well, God willing, we'll do the contest.
We will do the contest no matter what day we do it next week. It's going to be Tuesday unless something bad happens again.
Rackham Vale, which is a settings/adventure book for OSE, basically designed for old school essentials. That's what it says in the back. Very fairy, very dark. Brand new. I didn't really
Dark Fairy.
Yeah. Didn't see Bruce out there today, but he says he's really hoping to get Traps and Treachery, the D20 Legends and Lair book, third edition-ish sort of book on traps. That's another option you could pick from. And if you win, the last is hoping somebody might finally choose Feng Shui 2. I've been trying to get that away for a while. So movie action role-playing game. This is the biggest of the 3, but I've had people mention lots of interest in the traps book, so we'll see.
Those are the 3. One of the 3 you will get by winning. Wow. All right. So Randy has a bone to pick.
And Max says he's standing by it, and that's okay, but you hurt my feelings. Not really. He didn't. That's fine. He said that he says, you're saying I can't trust your judgment because yes, you can trust my judgment. You can trust that you probably won't agree with me.
Yeah,
no, that's okay. That's cool. I understood exactly what you were saying. You and I do vary there. That's a big nitpick we have. That's maybe a bone to pick with each other. I won't back off of it. I love Planescape. I think if you ran a tavern like Joe mentioned, I would think it should be in Sigil. Like if you have a Star Wars-esque tavern with all these crazy races.
It would need to be something like that, not just some random town.
I absolutely still can join, Max. You can still enter. I disagree that Planescape is not D&D. I think it's without doubt the best take on the planes there have ever been. All the other takes on the plane were essentially unplayable. There was no reason to go to the planes whatsoever in the old D&D. So I prefer, how does he say that? I've learned that between the two of you, I prefer to play in Joe's games. I get it. So Joe picks the setting and I run it. Yeah, you probably would enjoy that more. Joe doesn't totally love GMing, so I do. That's fair enough. I think that's a fair take. That's what you would like. I think that's fine. Just so you know, I'd love to play at your table no matter what. Wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit.
There.
But no. Iron Man asks, Feng Shui 2 is one of the No. I'm talking about a separate setting. It's kind of a me and a Max thing. We vehemently disagree, but that's okay. I think Planescape is really cool. I can see now that I'm older and my views, because I got pulled left a little when I was in college, and that's when I was Planescaping. I get there's relative moral
relativism
kind of reeking.
It's all through it.
Yeah, it's kind of all.
That's what gets me about Sigil.
Fair enough.
I don't like it.
Fair enough, but I do like it as a challenge. I like it because I like the idea of beliefs have power out there. That I do like. If I were to run it now, it'd probably be a little different than I did when I was younger, but I absolutely love it. I think it defined the planes. It made it playable. And I just ran a lot of campaigns with it. And I had a handful of complaints. Joe was not a big fan. My cousin Gerald was not a big fan of it. My wife doesn't love it, actually. And the truth is, I'm not highly motivated to run it anymore, but I can't poo-poo a game that I had a hell of a good time.
If you look at, someone put up a sales chart, and Planescape was one of the lowest sales of all of the different settings. They had a whole slew of the different settings over the years up to Planescape and a little bit past it. And Planescape was like teeny tiny compared to Forgotten Realms. But Forgotten Realms might have had more material. Planescape had a fair amount of its own, but
Max says the 1E Manual of the Planes is the best write-up. Disagree. It's vague enough, too vague, to allow the DM to present it how he wants. I was editorializing with enough info to make each plane unique and interesting. Planescape is a cartoon, I believe is what he's saying. That's okay, but I got you. Fair enough. I think it's cartoon. That's fine. Killraven says he prefers the Gate Town, using the Gate Town. Yeah, Gate Towns are great. Now that you have to admit, the Gate Towns make a lot of sense because they're so close to like between the border and the two planes that they should be a lot more like the plane. But I guess it depends on what you want. I just prefer, I love the idea of the planes. I love the realms of demons and gods and strange things. And I thought it was playable because before I was like, nobody can go to the planes to do anything unless you're super high level. So
that might have been the idea though.
Yeah. Mr. Max Boivin gets it. He says, I just like the idea of a city being built inside of a torus, right on, floating on top of an infinite spire. Yeah, it's very just not it denies all physics, which the plane should throw that out of the water. Things should be wild and crazy. And I'm fine with it. And Max, you're welcome to have your wrong opinion. But Planescape is right, and Manual of the Planes was just okay. They do belong in the planes, Max. Low-level people don't belong in the planes. That's what they were made for. No. That's an opinion. That's fair. That's a fair opinion. Anyway, so good. So it's good. So I can't be sneaky around Max because he already doesn't trust me. So I got to be constantly straightforward.
He puts his hand on his wallet.
I know he's
he
like,
steps in front of his wife to make sure he does all kinds of weird stuff.
He's got a little weirdness going on. I think he might be a lefty secretly. I'm not a lefty secretly, but I understand you think that because I like Planescape.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's all of that.
That's all I got.
I think we've gotten through all of our things. We've done all the things.
All the things have been done.
Yes. So since all of the things have been done, how about I throw this up one more time?
So they can do the things.
I mean, It's kind of preaching to the choir, I think.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. All that stuff helps us out.
Yeah.
Some even having the bell notification might help you out because sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you from your favorite people like us. And having the notifications, you might still be able to get notified on when we are on, though it's only once a week, so it's not a complicated schedule. That's how we roll, Legion. Wow, from fun to insults.
Randy, is TPS in disguise? Who's TPS?
TP.
Who's TPS?
Total party skills.
Bam!
No, you have to put your nostrils a little closer to your camera.
Doggingly, I am not dogging you, baby. I meant to tell you earlier that actually Max is one of the people next to the God Emperor here that really kept me focusing on doing the YouTube and stuff. I liked the cut of his jib. So yeah, but no, that's okay. That's a good shot, Max. Fair enough. Dogging LOM from the shadows. My big butt can't fit in a shadow. So
it creates a gravity well. The shadows bend. You know he's there.
Yeah, I know. No, Beast Max. It's all play.
All right. That all being said,
anything?
Any last shots, alibis?
I'm good, dude.
All right. If you'd like to support our show, please like, subscribe, and share us where you are listening or viewing the show. We are on the socials everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but most everywhere.
All the good places.
On all the good places. Well, there aren't any good social places, really. They can all be a bit of a cesspool, but we're on Facebook and Twitter. We're also on MeWe. If you feel like supporting us with your money, you can do it a couple of ways. You can go out to PayPal Biggest Geekus. Link will be in the show notes, as well as Streamlabs and Anchor. All the links will be available to you. And we are out on the web. Our website is biggestgeekuspodcast.com. Also, biggeekemporium.com. The coming soon page is up there. We have a contact form for your sending Joe nasty messages pleasures.
Sweet.
And our email is thegeeks@biggestgeekuspodcast.com. So I'm going to try to yak a little bit while I get things squared away. Yeah, because I always fumble around with these clicking things.
That's okay. Well, right. I'm hoping to be on Max. I hope to get there with Max tomorrow night. I like to chat with them more on Friday night. They just stay up so late, man. Oh, Legion wants to know, how do you enter the contest? Send the email, right?
Yes, go to the geeks at biggestgeekuspodcast.com. I believe you have already entered. You probably do not need to do it again. Mm-hmm. Let me check right quick for you. We don't have that many people entered. We only have like 20 some odd.
Oh, wow. Almost can roll 20.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure yours is in here.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, no, that's the wrong Max.
We do have I'm pretty sure. I think Max was in the last one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could always enter again. I'll just, there you are.
We got you.
We got you.
You're in, bud.
In like Flynn.
Yep. True.
So, yes, as I was saying.
Right. You're struggling to push the button.
There we go. Clicky.
Click the stuff. Yeah.
All right. And if that is all, I think that is all.
That is all.
Well, this is Joe.
And I'm Randy.
And remember, if you can't be big like us, then be geeks like us. I'm hitting the wrong stuff because that's what I do. That's what I